Hey, local prepper here. Today we're going to be looking at two things. We're going to be looking at the Wallaby 7.5, that would be this, 7.5 millimeter 1 gallon Mylar storage bags. I like these suckers because today we're going to be doing some rice on a lot of it. We're also going to be sealing those up with the Wallaby 16-inch impulse sealer. These things are badass, and we're going to talk about exactly why. So what's in the bag? It's actually pretty simple. There are 60 1-gallon Mylar resealable bags in here. There are also 60 400cc oxygen absorbers that come packed individually into like 10 absorber bundles. And then there's also 60 labels, which is kind of cool. This kit is actually perfect for long-term storage. You can use it for pretty much anything you want to, but I use it to do long-term storage for rice, grain, pasta, beans, pretty much anything that is dry good. So the simple rule is that as long as what you're putting in this bag has a 10% or less moisture content, it can basically last for about 25 years. Basically dry goods, rice, beans, pasta, etc. Now let's talk about sealing these bags up. This is the Wallaby 16-inch impulse sealer. It comes with a storage strap and 2 replacement strips along with fuses, and it's a little kit, 2 of them in there. Oh, by the way, it can seal up pretty much any Mylar bag up to 8 millimeters thick. I got this one because it's the biggest one I could find. But seriously, I bought this because of its ease of use, and it'll seal up any Mylar bag I can find. Also, you don't need to warm it up, just plug it in. And then all I do is turn the temperature sensor to the mil rating on the bag. Basically, the thicker the bag, the hotter the setting you need. I'll set mine to 7.5, and now we're ready to seal up some preps. Do you guys hear that?
Ha! Shameless promotion time. Let's get this out of the way so we can get back to the video. Yes, I'm a Wallaby affiliate. I make a few bucks every time you use the link in the description. What do you get? Well, if you use Local Prepper, the code Local Prepper, all one word, you get $5 on every purchase. Hint, hint, every purchase. So in the end, yeah, it's a win-win. Oh yeah. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and make sure you hit that notification bell. That way you'll know every time I upload new content. All right, let's get back to the video.
Wow, that was weird. So today I'll be storing some 40 pounds of rice, some different kind of beans. And before we get started, the rice was actually inside of my freezer for 4 days. And I let it sit on the table for 2 more, flipping it every other day just to make sure that all the moisture was not in that area, in the bag anymore. I'm going to walk through the process so you can see exactly how this is done, and I want you to see exactly how easy this is to do. I might even actually take it up a notch, so let's get busy. My storage methodology is actually pretty simple. I have containers that I use every day, and then I have the items that I want to store. So what I'm basically going to do is figure out how much rice fits inside of this, and that's the amount that I'll actually attempt to store inside the 1-gallon bags. It's actually pretty simple. So I've got my handy dandy scale that basically does everything itself, so I got to go ahead and wind this sucker up to give it the power that it needs to do this stuff. And I'm going to make sure this is set to pounds, put the canister on top of it, so we actually get an accurate weight. This weight is 8.3 ounces. I'm going to hit the tare button again. Now it's going to zero it out. So now I won't count this as my weight. So now all I have to do is fill this sucker up, and I've already pre-washed all the canisters. Everything you see today has been pre-washed. Each one of the bags is 20, each one of the bags of rices that I have are 20 pounds. So I already have a weight that I know I'm starting with. Sorry for all the racket, but this, yeah, it does stuff when you do stuff. All right, so we're going to see how much each one of these is actually going to weigh. This is going to be a trick to pour this in, but it's not impossible. Okay, so that right there is roughly 5 pounds. It's actually 5 pounds, 4 ounces. I think that's more than enough. That'll get me into that should get me into 4, maybe 4.5 bags at the 1 gallon level. It's normally 8 pounds using liquid, but it's going to be a little bit different weight with the dry. We're going to take and set this rice to the side because we know how much it is. We'll actually use this to pour. You know what? Let's go ahead. Now we'll actually set this to the side because we'll use this as our measuring cup for pouring a certain amount into the bag because we know how much this is. This is 5 pounds. Now that we know this is 5 pounds of rice, we're just going to set it over here. And we don't need the scale anymore because we know we got 5 pounds, and we'll set that to the side as well. The next thing we'll do is we're going to open up our old Wallaby 1 gallon bag. Let's do that. Easy to open. This is also a resealable bag as well. And we'll pull our kit out just so you can see what's inside of it. We'll set this over to the side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Each one of these has 10 inside of it. Also, once you open one of these, they're exposed to oxygen because they're vacuum sealed. See the little pink tab on there? That means that there's no oxygen in there. Once you do that, it will turn gray. It will turn to a dark gray. But the way you do this is every one you open, you put it inside of a sealed jar, and that will keep it from sucking up any more oxygen. But pro tip, if you vacuum seal the jar, it's even better. We'll show you that later. Now we'll just take our oxygen absorbers and set them to the side. We also have our labels. We could actually use these labels, pre-make these labels, then put them on the packages themselves, which is normally the smart thing to do. Got a little fancy little card there to do stuff with. How things work comes inside the package. And then we've got our 1 gallon bags. Now as you can see, they're about that big. We're going to see, and these are also flat on the bottom when you put stuff in it. I also like how this is curved right here because that means it can actually fit more stuff. There you go, curved right there. All right, so we're going to try and stuff 5 pounds inside this thing. Let's go ahead and set that to the side. Let's open this up. We're going to open that old Ziploc container up. Where people are like, oh man, you stuck your hands in there. Now it's not clean. Yeah, it's called washing your hands before you do anything. So that, yeah, let's think about that for a second. All right, let's see if we can get 5 in there. Look at that. Hopefully I'll be able to seal it up. We'll find out in a minute. Now because we actually have a container, we have a known amount, which is 5 pounds. 5 pounds fits into the 1 gallon bag quite easily. If it were liquid, it would be 8 pounds, but that's not what we're dealing with today. So what we're going to do is I'm going to do some time lapse. I'm going to finish these up, and then we'll get ready to seal these bags. Okay, so as you can see, we're about ready to be done with this. We've got 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. It should be 40 pounds, but I think that it came out to net weight, so it's a little bit less, obviously. I still have this. I'll just mark this as white rice and put it in my pantry, but the rest of these are going to go ahead and get all sealed up. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is we're actually going to look at, this is the way it comes inside of the box. I have not even taken it out yet. Comes with a little sturdy strap here that will keep it because it is spring loaded. Obviously you want to be able to keep it inside the box when you store it. It's just a little Velcro strap. You could probably use anything you wanted, but I'm glad that they actually have this. This is actually pretty cool. And then per the instructions, you just have to, let's plug it in. We'll actually do a quick test. We've got no light there. We're going to turn this up to 7.5. Okay, now that it's set to 7.5, let's do a test run on the bag. I've been doing some tests already, and it's working great, but I wanted you guys to see it. So you just put it wherever you want it to be. It's always going to be, it's normally best to do it. You see where the little rip notch is? Always want to do it below that. So I'm probably going to seal when I do the bags, just like one there, just to make sure. Put it wherever you want. This is just a test run. And if you watch the light comes on. It'll only come on when Mylar is in it, guys. Whenever some kind of plastic or metal coated plastic is in it. If you just try to push it down, it doesn't work. So just keep that in mind so you don't freak out. Also, I don't know how well you can see it, but there's the actual seal right there. It's perfect, goes right across it. It automatically shuts off all by itself. So it'll work exactly how long it needs to work. All right, let's get some oxygen absorbers. Let's get a jar, and let's get ready to do this. All right, a quick admin note. Wallaby recommends that you only use one of these 400cc oxygen absorbers per 1 gallon bag. So that's what we're going to do. They come with a little rip thing on the top of them. Also, I watch people put these things inside of these giant mason jars and seal them off and like, well, that thing's just going to sit there and eat the oxygen out of it. Why not go with something smaller? Always pick the smallest possible jar that you can find. And I may even show you a hack for this later on. So we're going to open this 10 pack because we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 open. And obviously the other 4 will go inside of here. So that's what we're going to do. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then we'll very quickly get the rest of them into the small jar and close that off, and I'll show you a little hack on this later on. But now it's only eating that small amount of oxygen that's inside of there, and we're going to reduce that even later. Also, this is the do not eat indicator, which is kind of funny. I'm not sure why that's in there. Let's just throw that in the jar just to do it. Okay, so now that that's done, let's bag some preps. Now I've got it plugged in. I've got it ready to go here. I'll turn it a little sideways so maybe you can see the light. I'm not exactly sure. It's set for 7.5, and now we're going to start sealing bags up. One of the things that I like about these bags with the dry goods is they have this Ziploc type container, no TM, no trademark intended, but basically a sealer, so you can actually seal this up by hand. Once you align everything, you can actually seal this up by hand, and then just treat it like a regular Ziploc bag and squish as much air out of it as you possibly can, and that will get you started. Now you're basically working with a semi-sealed container right now, and then this is 7.5 millimeter Mylar, so it's going to be a little bit harder to work with by hand. We're going to get that in there. We're going to make sure that we're nice and flush so we can put the seal on it, and then there we go. Then we're going to do it. Watching the light, 2, 3, 4, 5, it's sealed, popping up, and just like that. We just sealed one of these puppies up. You could put 2 on it, but the nice thing about this is that with the impulse sealer, it makes a very, very clean seal. You may be able to see it right there, and as long as you put it down flat, you'll have no problems. So let's go ahead and do the rest of them. So that's what 40 pounds of rice looks like. As you can see on the left-hand side, that is what I'm going to use in my pantry every single day. That's a brand new container. That's why it's still out. And then you have the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 other bags that have approximately, probably a little bit more than 5 pounds of rice inside of each one of those bags. I'll throw some labels on them later. You guys don't need to see that. I think you're more than capable of making labels yourself. And don't forget to stick around for the bonus content at the end of this video. I think you're going to like it. So whatever bag you decide to go with, you are going to be impressed. I particularly like the 7.5 milliliter bag because I store these outside of 5-gallon buckets. I don't do it that way because I want to. I do it because I have to, because of the way my storage area is set up. And also 5-gallon buckets are a little expensive these days. I do have some 5-gallon buckets with the Gamma Seals on them, but that's when I first became a prepper. I'm also extremely impressed with the performance of the Impulse Sealer, its easeability of maintenance. I could figure it out just like that. And it basically does everything all by itself. And then the bags themselves, these are pretty tough bags. These are the thickest ones that I've seen. I think you can buy up to 8 millimeter, but 7.5 is more than enough, and I don't recommend anybody actually going over that. truth be told, when it comes to the protection of your long-term storage, you don't get any second tries. It has to work every single time, and with Wallaby, that seems to be exactly what I'm getting. Now, I would also like to hear what you have to think about either Wallaby products, what you're doing. Maybe you do something different than I do. Do me a favor, put those in the comments. I normally get to them within the first 1 to 2 hours of a video being posted, and I'll be happy to reply to you. You'd be surprised, I actually reply to a lot of comments. Okay, if you like what I'm doing and want to support my work, please consider becoming a Patreon for $1 a month. You might want to look at the $3 a month plan as well. You'd be very surprised as to what you get it. I'll leave a link below and you can decide. So until the next time, stay safe, have a great day, and I will see you when I see you. Bye-bye. Okay guys, thanks for sticking around for the bonus content. Remember that little bad boy right there? The one that, by the way, has already turned gray, even though that little bit of oxygen is in there? Yeah, that's exactly what's gonna happen. It's eating oxygen right now, but let's game the game. Pro tip, let's get the air out of this can. How do we do that? It's easy. We're just gonna take this sucker right here. Remember these little adapters? They sell them on Amazon. I'll leave a link below for you guys. If you have a food saver, you need one of these. You can dry can with it, but you can also save your oxygen absorbers. So we're just going to put that sucker right over. We're going to loosen it up just a hair. We're going to put this right on top of it. We're going to connect our food saver to it, and then we're going to put operate and vac seal. And right now it's sucking all the air out of there. This is what I should have done right after I finished. I should have had this ready to go. That's what I should have done. And then it's going to do all that stuff. And then it's going to pretend to seal, but there's no bag in there, so it doesn't matter. I'm going to take this and we're going to pop this top off of it. That'll loosen it enough that the top won't come off of it because there's a seal. I like to give it a little bit of a twist. And now we have it vacuum sealed. We can store this away with our vacuum sealer and our other oxygen absorbers, and we won't have to worry about any stupid things. Thanks for sticking around for the bonus content. Saving your stuff for you. And I think that's going to be it. Bye-bye.